Dr. Joy Jones here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kadu Sakinde, board certified pediatrician in Chicago.
Hello, my name is Roland Reed, and I am an internal medicine hospitalist in North Carolina.
Greetings. My name is Dr. Khadijah Tribier Reed. I am a pediatrician in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hello, my name is Dr. Levi's Burns. I'm a board certified OBGYN physician licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Louisiana.
Hey, I'm Dr. Joy Bradshaw Terrell, a board certified OBGYN here in Chicago.
You know, the first thing to know is COVID is real. It has killed people. I've seen strong 14-year-old boys, football players, muscular guys get deduced to having to be on a machine to keep their heart pumping.
What I know about COVID-19 is that it is a rapidly fatal disease. Even people who are able to survive COVID-19 often will have long-term side effects, sometimes memory issues or problems thinking, sometimes numbness. So really surviving it doesn't mean that you're completely out of the woods. What I will also say is that it's highly contagious, right? And we know that you can't really tell if somebody's carrying it or not.
When I think about COVID-19, I think that we have been struggling with this illness for about 18 months now. And I think the primary thing that I think about when I think about it is just the devastation that it's wreaked on our communities, especially communities of color and underserved communities. And I think the primary problem has been death and morbidity and illness and lost time from work and loss of family members and loss of connectedness.
Currently, I'm in Louisiana where we are witnessing a COVID surge in the hospital and across the state where most of our elective surgeries are being canceled.
It's a powerful virus, and viruses have a tendency to change. They're resilient little suckers. They keep going. So as we see now, we're talking about a whole new variant, the Delta variant, which is infecting people, even some who have been vaccinated. But vaccinations still work. We even have seen that people who are vaccinated, even if they get infected, aren't as severely infected, don't end up in the hospital, and don't end up dead.
As a general principle, vaccines are created to try to help our immune systems figure out a problem before the immune system actually meets the real problem. It's like getting the immune system to study and to know the answers to a test before the test is actually given. The vaccines train the immune system in order to keep the immune system from having to do a bigger job in the future if a person gets sick.
I would like to implore people who have any doubts and concerns about the vaccine to please reconsider. There are a lot of myths out there which are hurting our population tremendously. One, the vaccine does not affect your fertility at all. Also, another myth is that this type of technology is new. It actually is not. They've been studying this for years. This has just been an emergency situation where it had to come into effect.
Now, of course, there are concerns about some vaccines that have come out recently, at least in people's mind, because of their concerns about whether or not there might be foreign materials like microchips or, something else in it. Much of this probably stems from some of the racist actions of physicians, back in the day, 80 or 100 years ago, etc. And I think it's really important to really see the difference between the practice of science and medicine versus the practice of racists in science and medicine. The bottom line is we don't microchip you. If you want a microchip following you, you've already got a cell phone that does that.
All the myths of, they're putting things in you. They're going to trace you. Hello, if you have an iPhone or Android, they can trace everything that we're doing. I know there's a lot of mistrust in the minority community, but it doesn't alter your DNA. It's not going to mutate you into something else. So the quicker that we all get vaccinated, the quicker we can get ahead and really beat this.
Look, I get it. You're on the fence about this vaccine. You've heard stories. You've talked to your barber. You've talked at the beauty shops. You've talked to your neighbors. You've seen all kinds of stories all over social media, and you're just not sure whether you should get it or not. I get it. I think in addition, to be fair, the science and medical communities have not had the best track record, especially when you're looking at communities of color and the underserved communities. So I get your reluctance. What I will say is that to get the vaccine or to not get the vaccine is a deeply personal decision that has potentially far-reaching consequences.
It's really, really important for us to take advantage of the scientific advancements of the technologies that are available to us to make sure that we take the best care that we can of ourselves. It's really, really important. So please consider talking to a physician about any of your concerns. But of course, don't let fear and conspiracies and things like that keep you from getting the best health and outcomes that you can.
You know, when this vaccine first came out, I was not excited. I was not the first person in line to get this vaccine. And I just wasn't too sure about it. But about a month after the vaccine came out, I started noticing in the grocery store and in public places that people weren't wearing masks anymore, or people were barely wearing masks, or people were wearing masks incorrectly. It became very clear that no one was going to protect me or my children who could not yet get vaccinated. People were doing what they wanted to do. And some of those people were vaccinated and some of those people were not vaccinated. I could not trust that the people around me were going to do what needed to be done. So I got the shot. I got the shot about a month or two after it had already been in circulation. I talked to many people who'd gotten it. I knew what to expect. I knew I could not feel well that first day, 24 hours, and all of that came to pass. But I feel free today. I've gotten on an airplane to see family. I've been in groups. I've shared meals with people. I've had freedom as a result of having this vaccine. So I want to encourage you to get the vaccine. It enables you to be in spaces that you wouldn't otherwise be safe. And it really protects not only you, but the people you love. And so it's time. It's time. In this moment, COVID has become a illness of the unvaccinated.
You know, my whole thing is that I believe in science. So if I can take a vaccine and protect bringing COVID home to my family or my friends, and the likelihood of me dying is so low, then take the shot.
I also struggle with whether or not I should get the COVID vaccine. And I think my hesitation was that I was concerned that the technology was new and it was somewhat uncertain, and I was concerned about side effects and things like that. But I will say that that was juxtaposed with my day-to-day experiences in the hospital, where I saw a lot of morbidity and death, and I saw people die horribly. And so for myself, that was enough motivation for me to go ahead and choose to take the vaccine.
Now, what we know about the vaccine is that, yes, it is still in somewhat experimental phases. They are still making changes and adjustments as we go along. I will say that most of the people I have talked to have tolerated it very well, have not had any side effects. But not to say that there are not cases where people do have side effects. That said, it's really, Wayne, the risk of taking a vaccine, which most people seem to tolerate well, but that you don't know the long-term effects of, and possibly getting a disease, which you do know the long-term effects of, and you know how sick it could make you. Also, you want to think about how at risk are you, right? That was really important at the beginning of this pandemic, right? Where it seemed like older people and sicker people were being highly affected by this. But now we're seeing younger and healthier people getting sick from this disease and dying. So you want to consider your risk, but recognize that everybody's at risk. You also want to recognize how at risk are your loved ones. Are you coming in contact? Are you coming home to people that you love that you could pass this to? So keep all of that in mind. I know it's a difficult decision, but please feel free to reach out to your primary care doctors, people who are kind of in the know with science. You can also do your own research as well. But whatever decision you decide to make sure it's a decision you can live or die with. Take care.